everyone. Welcome to At Home with Sally. I'm Sally Clarkson, and I have the biggest privilege in the world to be with so many friends from all over the world who join me every week to listen to my stories, inspiration, biblical encouragement, and I am just so glad that you're here today. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi, my friends. Happy Monday. It's Sally Clarkson, and I'm so happy that you joined me today. I want to tell all of you all, many people know that I have lived in Oxford this year, still hope to go back and finish my year out, my 2 years actually. And then I got this leg thing, and then I went through lots of therapy and on and on. Came back to America, and they said, well, it's going to be 2 or 3 months till you get a surgery. And then I said, if you ever have a cancellation, let me know. They had a cancellation, called me up and said, we've got a surgery date for you on the 21st of September, which was much earlier than any place else I've been able to get surgery. And then last week, I had you all pray because the insurance company said, Sally, you'll have to go through 3 months of therapy before we can give you surgery. And oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. Then that means I might as well just stay here the next 6 months. Anyway, all that to say, thank you for praying. There's a breakthrough. I wrote this very long report, did a lot of calls. This woman at the doctor's office helped me. And now I get to have my surgery on September 21st. So I am going crazy trying to get everything done. And I just want to thank all of you who've prayed and sent me messages. And someone just told me recently, they said, you should never write a book like Help, I'm Drowning, because then you have to learn all the things that you're talking about during the time that you launch the book. So from now on, I'm going to write a book that says, join me. I just got $1 million given to me, or something really fun. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. As you know, the Clarksons tend to be talkers and writers. So I'm excited today to have on one of your favorite people, Nathan Clarkson.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. We are having fun being here together, and welcome Nathan to my show. And he's been here for the same amount of time. You all met me at the airport.
Well, it was funny. I think it worked out really well because I think you guys would have been a little lonely here without us. We'd been planning to come home to Colorado because we needed a break from New York and to enjoy some mountains and some nature. And it turned out that we just went home at the same time to actually hang out, which is so much fun.
We have had fun, and Nathan's taken me on adventure days. I'll tell you all about
every
some
Wednesday,
of those.
Adventure Day.
And he and Kelia have cooked almost every night. Nathan is a great cook.
I am.
What is your signature dish?
Well, currently the signature dish is what we call quarantine stew, which is really just chili, but it's something that we made when we were locked in our teeny little apartment in New York City when we felt like we were drowning. We had to have things to look forward to. And so we concocted a great chili that we'd had every single weekend, and I would have it with my podcast boys, and it's just so good and warming, and it was a comfort throughout the lockdown last year. And so we have continued it as a part of our menu, and it's been a lot of fun. And we're about to actually make it for you tonight.
You're making it for me tonight, and it's a little bit different. It's got some interesting things in it, and so it makes me think it's a little bit different than chili. So
everyone has their own special recipe.
And I can add it to my new repertoire.
Yes, quarantine stew.
I can make quarantine stew and chili. So you mentioned podcast, and I love your podcast. I love the guests you have on, but it's so much fun for me to listen to because it reminds me of all the many thousands of nights when we sat at the dinner table and discussed.
Talk. Clarksons really like talking, which is why there's 3 Clarkson podcasts where we just like to talk.
That's true. So,
there's never a shortage of things to talk about.
Never.
So.
I know. Some people say, how do you think of things to talk about? And I think, how do I get this family to be quiet? So just tell them a tiny thumbnail because I will forget at the end to tell them what you do in your podcast.
Yeah, well, our podcast is called The Overthinkers, which is something that our family is very familiar with. We overthink and overtalk about everything. And so on the podcast, we just decided to ask a question every episode, some interesting, fun question about philosophy or theology or culture or movies or art or whatever it is. And me and my friend, he grew up in a family just like ours where he talked on the dinner table. So we just talk about fun, interesting things. And it's called The Overthinkers, and we overthink it. So it's a lot of fun.
Which is really fun. Okay, so now we're going to move into the fact that some people farm, some people are accountants. All we know how to do is things with words.
Yeah. You think we'd be a little more useful by now, but we're not.
We're not. No. It's just words. It's words and people. And eating.
And
eating
stories.
A lot.
Yeah, but mostly eating.
That's really true.
Eating and talking.
Let's
and
hurry
we turned
up
it
so we
into
can
a
eat
career.
again tonight.
Yeah.
Eating or tea, one of those two. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to make it through this or not. But you all know that I am launching this book, Help, I'm Drowning. And by the way, I've gotten a lot of comments from you who have already read the first parts of it or most of it from being in the launch team. I'm so glad that it is hitting you right where you are. That was my desire, for not to just gloss over how hard life can be, but to say, I know how hard life can be, and how can I help you in the midst of it? And one of the things that, as I look back, I'm basically an introvert / extrovert. I like to spend time alone, go into my vortex, think, have my own cup of tea that no one sipped. But that having 4 rambunctious kids, every day, all the time, didn't always allow me to have that time away. And so part of what I do write about in the book is some of the storms of just being a mom and just having children. And so I was thinking today, as Nathan and I are getting ready to do this podcast, because he and Joy, I'll tell you in a minute, have a book coming out. He can tell you about it. But it kind of goes along with one of the ways, or some of the ways, that I was able to push through those emotional times, those storms when I needed time alone. I needed time every day alone. I needed to have some control in my life when it was possible. And so I tried to think of rhythms and resources to put into our lives that I could send the kids to at any moment. Sarah's doing a good job of this right now too, so that I could ease more through my storms, and so could my kids. So we're going to talk about storms and about your book.
Yeah, well, I was really excited to hear when you told me the concept a while ago about Help, I'm Drowning. Not that I'm not incredibly ecstatic about all of your books, but this one I think is really relevant to almost everyone in my life as well as myself. And of course, I know you have a lot of moms listening out there who feel like they're drowning in their lives and their families and their kids and circumstances. But I think the idea of Help, I'm Drowning is one that's really universal right now, especially after last year. And all the messages that you talk about are so relevant in my life and all of my friends' lives. And so I'm really excited about talking about this because I think it's so important.
Well, okay, as an adult who is living your own life, I mean, this has been a very stressful year for all of my adult kids. There was loss of jobs. There were, separation from family, all these different things. But when you look back on your life as a child, because no life is perfect, we had some storms. What do you even remember as some of the things that you felt that was kind of a stormy part of your life? And what are some of the things that you remember that we did that helped you walk through them?
Yeah, well, oh man, storms as a kid, there were a lot. I think that sometimes people can have a false idea about growing up a Clarkson kid.
That's
that
so
it was easy and we drank tea, which we did. And it was just fun all the time. But the reality is, I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Eugene Peterson. But the harsh touch of life reaches us all, and even kids. And there were a lot of storms that we experienced together as a family, and even individually as a kid that I experienced growing up. And some of the ones that stick out, I would say one, I think a lot of people listening might already know about this particular storm in my life, but I, as a kid, was diagnosed with a lot of learning disabilities like dyslexia and ADHD, and a few other ones. And I was diagnosed as well with really severe mental illness. Mm-hmm. And those are storms that actually continue with me today. Mm-hmm. But those were things I look back on, and as a kid, were really, really difficult for me to figure out, for me to traverse, for me to deal with. And I'm so so blessed to have been in the family I was, and to have you and Dad and my siblings. But that didn't make the storms not difficult.
No.
And the storms are really, really hard for a kid dealing with mental illness and feeling stupid and feeling like he's too much and getting in trouble with teachers and learning disabilities. So it was a really interesting storm for me to experience. And as I look back, I'd say that's really one of the main ones. And, we talk about this in our book Different, but I'd say that's a really strong storm that I experienced as a kid.
Well, and I think that people would like to think that we came up with formulas that worked. I don't think there are formulas.
We tried a lot of formulas.
Yeah, we did. And we had a lot of people who told us a lot of formulas. Like if I would get letters like, just take him away from sugar.
We gave it our all, yeah. I tried eating whole grain bread, and for some reason I still had learning disabilities.
Yeah, I mean, we have tried every dietary, everything. We were told really ridiculous things. Some people said, discipline him more. Some people said, don't discipline him. And so I think that one of the things I know about mental illness, and some of you have recently read Sarah's book about it too, but it's a mystery. You don't always know what's happening. It doesn't mean that if you're not confident that you're ruining your children, because...
Well, it's quite literally a storm. The winds blow one way this day and another way that day. You are disoriented. It's not something you can't formula yourself out of a storm.
No, and there is no, there's nothing that's going to work for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a daily active...
It's something that will be with you. You have matured as a man. You have grown. You're a man of character. You're a man of brilliance. You do amazing things. But this will always be with you. And I think that that was part of the storm for me, is figuring out with 4 children how to help Nathan individually with, helping him feel like he had the attention, as well as Sarah, because she had it as well.
Yeah. In totally different ways, too. That's why formulas don't work, because Sarah and I both struggled with mental illness, but we both needed such vastly different things at vastly different times.
Mm-hmm. And one was introvert, one was extrovert, so they bore their mental illness and anxiety differently. But anyway, so as you look back, because I said resources were important for me, because... I would have you run around the house, before I would start reading in a day and say, "Oh, you did
that helped
great."
One of my issues.
Yeah, but you would have this routine where you'd run around the house, and I'd say, "You cut off a second from your race," and it was just, no matter what he did, it was going to cut off some time from the race, because it gave me just a couple of minutes to get settled.
See, it's just like in the past few years, I realized what you were doing. You were going, I'm timing you. I'm looking back. I don't remember any timer, Mom.
Oh no, I did have the kitchen timer.
Yeah, okay.
And eventually my phone. No, I'm teasing. But I was constantly trying to give my children positive things to do, so that I would have time to gather the books, sit in the middle of the living room. So I'm kind of teasing about that. But I want to introduce your book at this point.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about lots of other things too. But I love this book.
Me too.
Tell us what the name of your book is.
Well, it's called The Clubhouse, and just a quick teeny story behind it is I actually wrote this when I was, I think, about 11 or 12 years old. Mm-hmm. In the book,
I think I was narrating. I mean, I was writing it down while you told me.
Oh, yeah. Right? I can't remember, but I don't remember the exact moment, but I remember it being celebrated with everybody and reading out loud in the living room. And it was so much fun because Dad recently discovered this poem on some old box or something. He sent it to me. This is a couple of years ago.
This is what he's good at.
Yes, exactly.
Finding details.
Yep, and he sent it to me, and I remembered and saw the poem, and it brought me back to my childhood. And essentially, the poem and the book are about 2 kids going to play in their clubhouse every single day, and how every single day the clubhouse is a different place. It's a different story. Sometimes it's a spaceship or a pirate ship or a church or a wagon or whatever it might be. But every day through the art of imagination, this little clubhouse became something totally different. And so I got my little sister Joy on board and said, "Joy, help me edit and write this poem and write new verses, because you and I experienced so much magic in the concept of pretend and play as kids. And I want to do that with her." And we wrote it together and came up with this beautiful book, and the drawings are just absolutely beautiful. There's detail, there's fun, there's whimsy, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. But connecting to what we're talking about storms, and it's funny, you think, what does a children's book about imagination have to do with a book to moms about dealing with storms in their life? Mm-hmm. And it's funny, Joy and I have been talking about this concept about imagination for quite a while in a lot of podcasts, and what I realized is the things that got me through the storms of my life and that continue to get me through the storms of my life were the things I practiced every day in that clubhouse. And by that, I mean every day in that clubhouse, I was given by you, because you gave us all the costumes. You gave us all the materials. You gave us the clubhouse. You built the clubhouses for us. You encouraged us to go do this. But every day in that clubhouse, me and my siblings would envision ourselves in a great story as the heroes of that story. You know, it might have been Lord of the Rings after we'd seen Lord of the Rings and read it. It might have been Narnia. It might have been a world of our own design. But every single day we were out there pretending to be something great. We were fighting monsters. We were killing monsters. We were conquering our demons in these imaginary worlds. And we imagined ourselves as a part of a grand story. And so as I look back, I didn't know it at the time, but in that time of me pretending and being in these stories and imagining myself as the hero, I was practicing, I was working out this muscle of conquering monsters, of remembering that I was a part of a great story. Remember that every decision I made was important. So in my adult life, when I face these big storms, even now with my mental illness or job or money issues or depression or whatever it is,
which never go away.
They don't.
Yeah.
But what I did as a kid, I'm practicing still now, and it's going, no, but I can conquer this. I can rise up over this. This is a beast I can destroy. And I practiced that as a kid, and me practicing all those hours in my backyard in the clubhouse actually affect the way I live today and the way I face my problems today.
Well, and I just believed very early what we did, and actually in my membership, we've already put together a list of books that you can be reading out loud to your children, and then they can go out and pretend by using the book. Using one more page of the book, and we have books that go with each page. But I went to Goodwill, and I got a lot of I got army clothes, or what is it called, camouflage.
Oh, yeah, I got camouflage so I could be a soldier. You got cowboy hats so I could be a cowboy. You got even like little space suits so I could be an astronaut.
We got little suits. We got boots. We got the girls some dress-up dresses. We made everybody capes. We got the plastic swords. We had to use the plastic swords.
We did beat each other with them.
Yeah. But anyway, we provided boxes, tables, blankets, a little playground that we were able to get from Sam's, and we read great stories together. But I always believed that whatever you practice, you become. Whatever you water will grow. And so I wanted my children to have so many places in their hearts and minds where they were actually able to escape the reality of maybe the mundaneness of the world, the loneliness of the world. And together they built this great, and my kids are still so close. They're so different. Every one of them different.
Yeah, that's the whole other thing, how close it made us.
Yeah, you all are this like little club.
Yeah, still.
They text, they have group texts, they talk, they do things together. And someday I will become very wealthy and have a 2,000-acre farm where we all live far enough apart from each other, but we all live close enough to get together for Sunday meals.
Either that or a mansion in every different city that your children live in.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, let's go for that. I'll follow you all, as you know. But anyway, I think that for me, even as a mom, and I write about this in Help I'm Drowning, what are some of the things I did? Because I think that we need to have a thing to go to automatically. I had the dress-up box. Sometimes I gave them a recorder so that they could put together a play about the book, put on costumes.
A radio play.
They did radio plays. They also did video recordings.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember even You and the Prices and all the things that you all would do?
Yeah, we did a whole reenactment, our own version of our own fantasy.
Yeah. And so anyway, I think that sometimes people are very reductive in what they think education or even the shaping of children is. But I think the more a child can cultivate creativity and imagination and move into places inside their own brains that are heroic, that are good, that are wonderful, that's a really important thing to do.
Well, I want to tie the two books together again and talk about, I have this book about imagination and whimsy, and you have this book about Help I'm Drowning and the struggles of life. And I think, again, I would tie it together and saying it's really important while you're paying attention to how you are handling these storms. It's important as you are raising your kids to help prepare them for handling their own storms in their life.
Oh, so true. We had lots of storms. We were not overprotective. We walked beside you as storms just happened to us. It wasn't like I was seeking them out,
No, well, that's the picture of Jesus in the Bible of when, the storm comes and he's sleeping in the bow. He's with them in the storm. And he says, "Oh, ye of little faith," which I think means ultimately it wasn't about the storm not happening. It was about their trust in him and his presence in their life during the storm. But I think it's so important for parents, while they're battling their own storms, to prepare their children for the storms that they'll face in life. And that's what you did. And that's what imagination and playing pretend, you don't know it, but really does prepare your kids to fight the storms in their life. It's funny. Joy has this great quote that she shared with me a while ago from G.K. Chesterton that says that fairy stories are for kids, not to tell them that monsters exist. They already know that monsters exist. Fairy stories are for kids because they tell kids that monsters can be defeated. And so I always love that. And I think that's what I love about this book about pretend. It playing pretend and using my imagination prepared me to fight the storms in my life. And that was something that you gave to me while you were fighting your own storms that as kids we had no idea about. But you actually helped us begin to prepare to fight the storms that we would face in our lives.
I mean, I look back and when we had hard times, we prayed about it. We also sometimes would just celebrate life to distract us from the negativity of the storms.
Celebrating life is fighting the darkness.
Yeah, is fighting the darkness. And I feel like part of what we knew is that if we had lots of issues and problems and storms, you all would too.
Yeah.
And so to give you an imagination of in this world, you will be a warrior of light. And I wonder how you're going to wield your sword against the darkness.
Will you be a hero?
Yeah, and I think it's your choice. We can't make you a hero, but you have agency. You have the ability to determine to be a hero and to determine to take light into the world. And someone was writing me today. I would love to hear what you think about this. A really sweet letter that I got. And this woman said, "I read Sarah's book, I read your book, and now I'm ready to go out and bring more women into my home so that they too can be inspired." And one of the things that we wanted to do with you wasn't just to indoctrinate you or control you. We said, you have a story to tell in the world. We want you to imagine yourself going out into the world and bring light. And I think that sometimes we're guilty of being consumers in America. What's your favorite podcast? Oh, I like this one better than that, or I like this book better than that, or whatever. But really, the goal for God is whatever resources we take into our hearts and souls, then from that point, it motivates us to go out and to love well and to tell a good story. And that's what you've done in your books, and that's what you've done in this book. And I feel like sometimes Keely and I were talking today about how when you live in these places, it takes your mind off yourself. When you serve people, when you're involved with your boys, you have them over every Thursday night after you record, when you're doing constructive things with other people. So in light of that, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I
think I would actually argue that there's a healing aspect for your own scars and hurts when you're serving and helping others and theirs. I think it doesn't just get your mind off of your own scars and your own pain. I think there's actually a healing process that takes place when you serve and love others. And so I'd say when you were in the middle of your own battles, you serving your kids, like you served us, you helping us, you playing pretend with us, you going to meals with us, you hanging out with us, you talking with us, scratching our backs, whatever it is. I think you were finding solace and help from your own storms while you were helping us fight ours.
Yeah, exactly. That is so true. Well, we were talking earlier, about some of the storms in your life. And, for me, a lot of it was having to figure out by faith how to meet the needs of my kids and their issues. And I have some people in my family who had some very severe difficulties. But we were talking about this earlier, and if you get the wrong answer, I don't know what I'll do. But,
oh, well.
We talked about there was something in your life that you particularly, when you were going through hard times, that really made a difference for you, that you longed for. What was that?
Yeah, I still love
get the right answer.
Yeah. No, what helped me when I was going through my small storms as a kid, was, I'm going to speak abstractly here, having you there, and then speak particularly And again, I go back to the story of Jesus. When you stepped into my storms, and by that I mean, even as your adult ways and you were doing your adult things and paying taxes and, doing all those things, you saw that you had a kid who was struggling with making friends or, getting in trouble or whatever. What really meant a lot to me is that when you saw me and when you took specific time to be with me, quality time was really, really important to me. Mm-hmm. And so when you stepped into my small world with my small little storms, even while you were dealing with your own big storms, that really had a practical impact on my heart and my mind. And it wasn't huge things like taking me to Disneyland. It was, Nathan, let's you and me go on a walk. Mm-hmm. Nathan, let's you and me go get some ice cream at your favorite place. Nathan, let's you and me show me your clubhouse. Mm-hmm. Nathan, what are you pretending? Can I pretend with you? And just little things like that really helped me weather childhood better and made me feel connected to someone and make me feel like I was seen, which I think we all need from God. But you were my first understanding of God. I think all of our understandings of God come from our parents. And so to have that was a really, really beneficial thing as a young kid.
Well, I think that you and I are a lot alike. And the thing I longed for was personal attention. I talk a lot.
Yeah.
we all
kind of talk a lot. I think we still all want attention.
But I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I guess I remembered as a child wanting someone to listen to me. And no one listened to me. And so we have to tell this story really quick. I don't know how much time we have, but do you remember we were at the house against the mountain. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to really quick wash the dishes because I just made y'all dinner. I was going to go out on a date with Daddy. And then you ran in the house and you said, Mom, you've got to come right now. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe you can tell it from your point of view, because I was thinking, wait, no. I'm going out on a date with Daddy. We never go out. And the funny thing was the bears came that night. Do you remember? And we had to come home.
Well, and from my point of view, I had been playing outside. I had this fort up on the hill that I had made, a clubhouse, if you will. And I had been out there, and all of a sudden this beautiful sunset came over the mountain. And there's this huge, huge rock called Michael Boulder. And I went and climbed it and looked at the sunset. But then I realized I really wanted to show my favorite person, which was you. And so I ran inside because I wanted to share it, and I needed someone to see this awesome view with me. And it was time sensitive, and you needed to come now. I know you were doing things, but that's why I ran in and started tugging you, because I knew the sunset would disappear and I needed to share it with somebody.
You were very authoritative. Mom, come now. You'll
there was something good at the end of that.
But you knew that unless you really made a point.
I was persistent, yeah.
You've always been a good debater, a creative thinker. And so it was like the Holy Spirit tapped at my heart. And so I put my dish towel down. I said, I can't stay for long, but let's go do it. And so I walked out the door.
I don't even think I told you what it was. I think it's a surprise.
No, it's a surprise. And you said the moment here we are at 7,200 feet high on a mountain. And we walked out the door and you said, Mom, close your eyes. I'll lead you up there.
There's a path. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. She said, and I went, okay. I'm thinking, what in the world are we doing? So we climb up there, and he even is pushing me from the back, climbing up there with my eyes closed. And in my memory, we got up to the top of this Michael Boulder, this big rock. And you said, okay, when I say, and you said, and I'm going to turn you around. Don't look. And when I say 3, you can look. And you put your arm around me. This is a 10-year-old little boy arm, or 10 or 11. And you said 1, 2, 3. And what is your memory of what we saw? Because what happened?
The beautiful sunset that was over the plains of Colorado from our mountain view.
It was gold and pink and blue, and it was just sparkling.
On fire.
It was on fire, and that didn't happen all the time. And I remember thinking, and you said, I wanted to share this with someone, Mommy, and I decided that you're the person I wanted to share with. And then you said, do you remember this?
Maybe. Probably. I'm sure, but I'll let you say it.
You said, Mommy, I will never forget this moment that you came out with me and spent time with me. And I wrote that in my journal because I thought, what would have happened if I didn't have this amazing, it was gorgeous. You were right. It was a beautiful moment. And I always saw that you had great ideas. You had beauty in your heart. You had nobility in your heart. But that's still what means a lot to me today. You have included me every day on Adventure Day this month. But I do think that a lot of storms, it's not saying, there won't be any storms, I'm going to control your life, because that isn't true. But it's being best friends. It's spending the time. It's making time to talk.
And it's finding beauty in the midst of the storms. And it's finding comfort that God is with us there, or someone is with us in the storms. But I think that story reminds me that even in the midst of storms, there's beauty to be found. And especially that is drawn out when we have someone else to help us experience it and see it.
So I think we're both the same, quality time. Saying I love you doesn't mean a thing when you don't have time. You're still that way, and I'm still that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have had so much fun the past few weeks.
I think God's that way, too. So.
Yeah.
God has our love language.
Yeah, I think he particularly does. Yeah, I guess if he was walking in the garden, looking for someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, Nathan, tell everybody again, just because we're going to end here, the name of your book, where they can find it, and where they can find you.
Yeah. So the book is called The Clubhouse, and it's written by me and Joy, my sister, and it really is just whimsical and beautiful. The illustrations are breathtaking and fun. Your children will absolutely love this. So I hope you grab one. I would be so honored, and I think your family will love it. You can get it on Amazon or theclubhousebook.com or anywhere you buy books. And if you want to get in touch with me or follow me or any of that, just search my name on the socials, Nathan Clarkson, or go to nathanclarkson.me.
That's wonderful. Well, and everybody, thank you so much for supporting me in this launch. I'm going to be in 1 million doctor's appointments. I've got to train for the hospital. I've got to train for the hip thing. I've got to train for the anesthesiologist. So help me. Also, if you desire to get one of these copies of my book, Help I'm Drowning, and buy them together, even that's even better, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'd need more Clarkson books in the world. We don't have enough.
I know. I really have to apologize. It's all we know to do. It's
eat and write and talk.
Yeah, eat, write, and talk. So anyway, thank you for all of you who have very graciously giggled with us and also supported us in our books and ministry and everything we do. So I just always close this time. I'm going to ask Nathan if he would pray for you today. We do care deeply. We know that you're going through a lot. I keep getting letters from people who are going through so much. And I pray and hope that Nathan's podcast, my podcast, our books, whatever we do, we just desire to come alongside and help you and companion you in the same ways that we have longed for in our own lives and in the ways that we need it. So the Lord bless you. Would you pray for everybody, Nathan?
Sure. God, thank you so much for everyone listening. Thank you that you see them and that you know them and that you want to spend time with them and that you want to make yourself known to them. And all of us, we are so grateful that you are a personal God and a God who is near. Even in the midst of our storms, I pray for every storm, every individual storm, every listener right now who is hearing this. I pray that you would let every person in those storms know that you are near and that you care about what they're going through and you care about what they're experiencing. Give them peace, give them rest. And I pray for all the kids who are going through storms as well, that they would begin to learn to fight those storms and to build those muscles of believing that they can overcome with you. We love you. We thank you that you're with us. In your name, amen.
Amen. Well, my wonderful friends, this is Sally, as you know. I always have to say that when I start back doing my recording. Today is Monday, my 40th anniversary. And I just wanted to tell all of you all how very grateful I am that so many people left such kind comments and so many things that they said. As you know, our lives are in a whirlwind right now, and so we weren't able to be with any of our children, so we're putting off celebrating until another time. But just having the love that you gave to us meant so much to Clay and me. And of course, we talked to all of our children, and they sent us such sweet messages, but there was still a hole in our hearts. We thought, wow, our children, they're the Clarksons. We do this Clarkson thing together, and now they're all in disparate places all over the world. So I know that all of you have felt that way too. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for encouraging us, for praying for us. What a crazy time we're living in. And I just want you to know that you're on my heart. And I hope that you'll know that Nathan and I are going to be praying for all of you in the storms of your life with your children. And wherever you are, there were many mysterious times for me, but I look back And I see that having children helped me grow more than any other thing in the world, and it helped deepen me in my appreciation for what love really meant. But also I can see, as I look back, that the Holy Spirit was there guiding us, guiding Nathan, and the rest of my children. And I pray that you will see his faithfulness in your life today. So enjoy today. And if you want, get one of the copies of the books. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to hear the stories about it. And for those of you who are on Life with Sally, we have a wonderful resource where every single picture we're putting it out this month. It's going out tomorrow or whenever September 1st is. And there will be books for each one of the pictures that is in the Clubhouse book. So that's a special that we are providing for Life with Sally members, and hope that you enjoy that. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye. I hope you've enjoyed our time together today and that you'll join me next week. Be sure to look for more inspiration on my blog at sallyclarkson.com. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.